Good people, what's up? What's good? You guys are watching another episode of Connecting the Dots, your favorite podcast. It's your boy Caleb Smith.
It is Kimmy Coco.
And we're back. Kim, what's been going on this week, man?
So, everyone watched the game, stayed up real late the other night and watched the game.
Yes.
Congratulations to the Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
That was exciting.
It's fun.
And Kawhi showed some emotion.
boo.
He was dancing. He's so sexy.
You boo. That video you posted when you get back to work after watching the game when he sat down at the conference. At the press conference, that was hilarious.
That was funny.
Yeah.
I think that I'm sick of Drake. I know he released a new song or whatever, but I don't feel like hearing it yet. He wore me out.
He killed you.
He was doing too much. He was doing too much. He was doing too
When they lost that one game and he had his head down like he played.
I didn't
He was walking
see that.
through the tunnel.
Somebody
I
was like, Drake
bro.
out here acting like he just played a rough game. I was like,
No,
oh,
Katie,
yeah,
when he
that
tried to
fake-
act
that
like,
fake crying.
yeah.
Yeah, it was another one with Klay Thompson.
Oh, wow.
so they are going to
The light skins.
they're gonna really change the whole NBA landscape
whole league is
with
changing.
all those injuries because those were gonna be
Guess
some
what?
of the most sought after free agents.
Izzy about
right?
to be mad next year. He about to be mad. Izzy is. I promise you about it. 2020, Izzy and Steve, they're going to be mad.
Why?
2020 summer. The Lakers, bro, they about to get a chip now. Watch. Mark my words. Anthony Davis, he coming to the Lakers. And maybe even Kyrie. I wouldn't even throw that out.
I think Kyrie going to the Nets.
A lot of people are saying that, but at the same time, it's like, I think, again, with Kyrie, this man says one thing and does the other. He just said he was going to get his number retired in Boston, and now he ain't coming back. So it's like, I can't trust
I would
it.
rather have Kimba, though.
A lot of people say that.
Yeah, I would
Kimba
rather have
Walker?
Yeah. But, hey, right now, it's a win-win situation. You can get Kimba, Kyrie possibly. That's still a chance.
Kimba,
And then
Braun, and AD.
AD. That's
I don't
more
think
than enough.
AD, that's enough.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
Even if you don't get Kimba, even if you don't get Kyrie, if you get Anthony Davis, that's more than enough.
So what the Lakers have right now is not enough?
I think so. But if you
Clearly
add,
it's not. They didn't even make the playoffs,
but
right?
LeBron he got hurt. And two, it's like
Look
as
how
well
many injuries the Golden State Warriors had, though.
catastrophic injuries. You're talking about ACLs, ruptured Achilles.
That's a part of the game.
It is.
You know, Golden State, when they won some of their championships,
Somebody's-
they hurt Kawhi. Like,
Max Kellerman said that.
Yeah.
they went- a lot
He
of
sat out a whole season.
Yeah.
because of Golden State.
And look, y'all remember Brian when he played with Cleveland the second go round, the first time that they went back to the finals. Kevin Love had like a separated shoulder. He couldn't play. Kyrie, his kneecap got messed up. He had to get surgery. So Brian played by himself. Last year with Houston, Chris Paul, he didn't play in Game 7 with a pulled hammy. So it happens. It happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was really the major thing that went on last week that everybody was
crazy.
talking about. I know one of the owners got into some trouble for pushing
Oh, you right.
a cop.
Yeah.
So we were going to
the
Black
Yeah,
man,
the
general
right.
manager.
So we were going to talk about black athletes leading up to one of the topics that we were going to bring up this week. And if you ever want to know what we're talking about, check us out on CTD_ATL
Yep.
on Instagram. And we usually announce what the topics are going to be so you can weigh in. Always feel free to contact us if you're in the Atlanta area and you want to come down and be a part of our live studio audience.
Yep.
And we can hear your opinion on a lot of the subjects. It's all about us learning, talking about ideas, moving forward, trying to find out what's going on around the world. And
right.
being a part of the discussion is really what we want everybody to do. This is not our show. This is your show. We just are the people that are here to bring up the topics that we feel are important to our life.
Yeah.
Lifestyle, livelihood.
Yeah.
We're also going to introduce another thing about investing and some
Yeah.
financial literacy just to get everybody open to some ideas on what you can do with your money. I'll give you some examples of what I've done with the little couple pennies I got. You know what I'm saying? So it really doesn't take a lot of money to invest. I
Yeah.
promise. I've spent like $5 on a share of stock before just because I want to see it grow. It's all about long-term investing. And since you guys are just graduating from college, I really want to see you guys make some good financial decisions.
Right.
Because student loan debt, if you go to CTD_ATL, I posted a video that I found about student loan debt and what it's doing to millennials. A lot of millennials say that they haven't invested in real estate or a home or in starting a family because they are so deep in student loan debt. There are I want to say 9 million some odd. I'll have to check the stats. Go look it up. But there are a large number of senior citizens that still have student loan debt.
Wow.
So this is
Wow.
something that people are dying with. And as we learned before when we talked about Nipsey and how he had no will.
Yeah.
When you die, which these senior citizens may be facing, if you die with debt, then a part of the money they're still entitled to the money, like, your estate, your debts. And no matter how much money you make, your net worth is based on that minus your debt.
Wow.
So don't get ahead of yourself, people.
Right.
You might get a good job and you're making $80, $90, $100,000 a year after you graduate from college, but you have to deduct the amount of your student loan payment. The average student loan payment is $350 a month. So, moving on.
Wow.
There were a lot of things going on this week. If you've seen people say there's a crisis in Sudan and nobody's talking about it. There's a crisis in Sudan and nobody's saying anything.
Yep.
Well, you have to understand that the current administration that we have considers Sudan a quote-unquote shithole country.
Yes. Yep.
He doesn't think that the African continent has any countries that are worth doing anything. So there's usually a oversight within the world of international committees and international groups of people that come together and try to hold peace and maintain some sort of humanitarianism.
Yeah.
It's
but
like high school. It's cliquey like high school.
Yeah.
but when your president pulls out of a lot of them and really doesn't want to participate in a lot of them, it puts you in a hard place. So just to give you an overview, and forgive me if it seems like I'm reading, I am.
You gotta read.
But if it sounds like I'm just reading something, I'm just giving you the information as it is out there.
Yep.
Is he telling me something?
No.
That's fine.
Oh, okay. I was like, am
Kid,
I
like,
too loud?
I'm trying to heat up.
I don't know what's happening. I'm like, shoot, do we need to get up or something? There is a crisis in Sudan. Sudan had one president since the 80s,
Just one.
which is a problem in
I wouldn't even
itself.
call that a president then.
Omar al-Bashir was the president for 30 years.
He's pretty much a king.
So, I mean, that
or a dictator.
That in
Right.
itself was an issue. So they had food shortages, rising prices, and so it sparked an anti-government protest.
And rightfully so.
And rightfully so. So the civilians and the military started talking about what they needed to do. So al-Bashir got out of power. Okay. The military was going to hand over power to the civilians, but those talks broke down June 3rd when all agreements began. The military and civilians were nullified, which led to a massive strike. So after they got pissed off, we had enough of this guy who's been here for 30 years. They went on strike.
Wow.
Which, I'm all for stuff like that.
Yep.
Power to the people.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
always in the people.
That's
when
it.
you get tired, you get tired.
Yep.
So shout out to them. But what happened was the Sudanese Professionals Association wants civilian rule and a long period of transition before new elections are held. So they want everybody to calm down, figure out what you want, get some things together, and then we'll move forward. So before the new elections were held, they wanted to do that. The military leaders reportedly wanted voting to take place in 9 months. That's according to Fast Company. So there are some, not like, they don't have any opinion. They just like what we would say bipartisan or whatever, both people, both groups of people, the Democrats and Republicans come together and they talk about stuff and they agree on something. It's called the bipartisan thing. But there are some journalists that go out and they're independent. They don't have any vested interest in what's going on. They're just reporting the facts.
Right.
And those are the people that you want to get your information from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Once these people went on strike and they started having protests, the military started to kill them. So that's where the problem comes in.
Wow.
Because they're killing the people, they're raping the women. I mean, they are out there just doing the unspeakable. I've seen some interviews and people try to describe what's going on out there and they can't. Like limbs cut off, just ridiculous. So doctors reported that there are at least 118 people dead and 700 injured.
And that's just in a 2-week span. Right.
That's since June 3rd.
And it's the 15th. Wow.
The military reportedly wants to return power to civilians once the national security threat is over. But according to Fast Company, the military shut down the country's internet to prevent their victims from reporting the crimes or asking for help. So a lot of the information that we're getting from third-party people, journalists, people that are trying to get the information out there because the people have had their internet shut down.
Wow.
Rihanna posted a video on social media trying to get people aware. Social media is really the only way the word is getting spread. Journalists aren't being allowed to come in and talk and take pictures. And, you know, like what I say journalists, our like national journalists, something that we would be able to see on NBC, ABC, nightly news, that type of stuff. And if they do, it's like, you know. So the State Department appointed Donald Booth to help the U.S. find a political solution that reflects what the Sudanese people want. Critics have said the White House hasn't done anything to help Sudan, though. And I believe them.
Most definitely.
Because like I said, the guy y'all elected, he doesn't care.
I was talking about this yesterday on John. Shout out to John Show, that same energy every Friday at 7. But I was asking him, like, why are we, like, I hate that America, we got to run to the aid of everybody when we got our own problem.
Well, that's the position that we've taken. That's not, everyone's been asking that since the beginning of time. Why did we go to Vietnam? Why did my dad get snatched out of high school to go fight in a country? You know what I mean? Like, that's the position we take. It's like we bully everyone into thinking that we're these people so that they respect us so we can go take what we want from them or
resources.
Or make them feel like they owe us something, and then
that's
they
another good
feel
point as well.
obligated to give us stuff.
That's true.
Or to make people think that we have the best military, like whatever the reason is, the people in this country are having to pay for it.
So my question is, what do we want our country to do for Sudan? Like,
I'm glad you asked, because that was what I was going to tell you next.
Okay.
So what they suggest we do, call your member of Congress and ask them to get involved. What do we always say here at Connecting the Dots?
You gotta vote.
It always comes down to your local government.
That's true.
But that goes, like, I just don't get it. I don't get, like, why are we trying to fix somebody else? Like, that's just like me.
Because eventually,
me trying to fix your house.
Well,
I'm
because
come in and clean up your house because your house is dirty. Let me clean up your house. You need your house clean. Let me clean it up. That's not my responsibility.
Well, it's not about that. We are the world. We
argument.
are the children. We are the ones to make a better day. So let's start giving. It's not that it's going to affect you right now today. But say, for example, okay, another president of another country says, yo, I like what they're doing over there in Sudan. They're just killing those people. Fuck it. And then they join forces, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then the next thing you know,
what's happened before?
Your president thinks he's going to do that too, because it's like there's nobody stepping in to do anything about it. As a world, as a country, as a united nation, there's a certain standard that you have to set for humanity.
So my question is this. There's no country that helps us at all. So why is it no country coming over?
That's another good question.
Listen, why is it no country coming over trying to stop police brutality?
That's a great question, because Malcolm X and what's my sister's name? You know who I'm talking about. The one that everybody quotes all the time on and says that she said that.
During the 60s?
Yeah.
Let's just go through the list.
What is her name? No. She's like Maya Angelou.
Got you. See, I knew it was
Maya
gonna be one of those.
Angelou, Malcolm X, and a bunch of freedom fighters from the 60s. They went to Africa and they asked them to help them with help us with what was going on.
And they were actually going to help. The guy's name was Patrice Lumumba, I think, in Ghana.
They got a couple people to get on board, but overall they weren't too. I mean, I think I read, right? They weren't really coming over here to help us.
They were saying, but where the issue lied is that Hoover saw that it was actually going to happen. And he shut that down. Patrice Lumumba died before Malcolm X. He died like that same year, the same month.
And that's why a lot of people that got deep into the civil rights movement and didn't get killed or didn't go to jail or didn't like just go crazy moved to Africa. A lot of them did.
I mean, W.E.B. Du Bois, he did that. And two, I think that people don't talk about the global mindset that we do need to have, because it's already have existed for centuries or even for decades easily, because even if we talk about people like Marcus Garvey, how he was traveling from Africa to and fro, W.B. Du Bois as well, and Fidel Castro, how he was going from Cuba to Harlem, or how Malcolm X was coming to Cuba.
Yeah.
I think that we as black people, most definitely, we have to have that mindset. And I think with Sudan, that is like the perfect example, because I mean, President Trump, he's not going to care. White people, they aren't going to care, because first of all, we're talking about Islam, and then we're talking about black African people. So that's really going to be pushed to the side. And Kim, you posted it, I posted it. We've cared, not we, but America has cared more about a church burning in Paris or in Rome and France,
that
wherever.
empty building that was burning, people were so concerned.
But with Sudan, you don't even see it anywhere. So I think that this is where we got to step up. But at the same time, Jay Black, and I think that shows the intricacies of being black in America as well, because it's like, does anybody really even care about us?
So my question is this: from from us in America, what we're basically trying to do is raise awareness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So why won't we just raise awareness?
We're raising awareness right now by talking about it.
But that's what I'm saying. We are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is share it.
True.
Just like we make all
You already did your part.
Viral, like I became, aware of this through social media.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we always gotta complain about, like, oh, they're not doing this? Like,
just do it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? Just do
I
the
don't
shit
like that either.
And it's like, man, we met America. Okay, we have the power to do. If we
We
all we trying to do is
blame
bring
them.
attention to it, we have the power to do that with social media.
That's facts.
So why do we cry about certain stuff? Like, that's what
Shut people down. Shut people down. I shut people down all the time. I don't care if you're my friend or not. If you say something like crazy, like, why aren't they talking about this? Well, if you sit and watch Netflix all day, you're not gonna find the news.
It's not. I don't think it's necessary to shame people for what they do.
I'm
You
not
just really
shaming
gotta
them. I'm
lead
just
by
being
example.
the obvious. Like,
But you gotta lead. You just gotta do it. You just gotta do it.
just post it.
Because when they see it, just like we're connecting the dots. We talk about all these topics. Some of them hit, some of them don't. But if it's something that resonates to people, they're gonna repost it. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. Share it automatically.
That's a fact.
Just
My
like when you
thing
hear a
is-
song
yeah.
you like. If you hear a song you like, you gonna tell people about it.
Yeah.
That's why I always tell my friends, like, don't tag me or ask me to post your shit. If I
Dang.
like it, I'm gonna post it.
Right.
Wow.
You feel me?
Okay.
And I just wanted to
Right.
be. It's gonna
You
be
want
more
it to be
genuine. If I like
generic.
it,
I
I'm
like
gonna
that.
post it.
I like that approach.
If I like
Yeah.
this, like with Drake or these big artists, if I like Drake's song, I'm gonna post it.
That's facts.
When it comes to like buying my stuff, like I don't ask my friends to do it. If you like it, you gonna buy it.
It's real.
Without me asking you, like,
Yeah.
I just gotta be consistent with it.
Yeah.
You feel me? And that's just how I am. Like, let
Another,
stuff
No
happen
handouts.
organically.
That's pretty much what it
let
is.
things
you want a
happen
generic
organically.
following.
Yeah.
You want a generic following. You want
Yeah.
people that
Generally,
genuinely
yeah.
like you and your stuff. And that's what I'm saying, because those are the people that are gonna stick around for the longest.
Yeah.
You don't want to just keep pressing people behind this.
Incentivize it. Yeah, I'll do this for you
I
if
hate
you
when people
repost
do
it.
Me, so
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
hate when people.
I hate
tell
when
me they
people-
like
Because it's
it.
like, I got to return the favor now. Or
I
do
know,
stuff
but
like
it's just
that.
like
Yeah.
I don't want to ignore you, and I
Yeah.
got you. Like,
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
when
That's
people
true.
call me and say, "Hey, like my post. Hey,
I hate that too.
comment
Don't
on
tell
my
me what
post."
to-
I'm
like,
not doing that. No.
Beyonce don't call me and tell me like her post.
Beyonce didn't
Don't
call you
nobody.
and tell you.
That's facts.
Beyonce steps foot out of her house. It's like,
But it just takes the other end, me, the business owner or the person that's the rapper or whatever. You have to understand that people, everybody's not gonna like it. Like, you can't force people to like it. Like,
And that's
we
okay.
blame
and you can't be
society, but
mad.
we
And
are
you can't
society.
be.
Yeah.
You can't expect. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be mad that nobody reposts your stuff. Like, you can't be mad at your friends. They not obligated to repost your stuff.
Yeah.
Make something that they like, and they're gonna repost it.
There you
Right.
go.
If they like it.
That's
You gotta
real.
appeal to people's interests.
That's
Another
real.
suggestion that they had for us as society to help out is to donate to UNICEF. Do y'all know what UNICEF is?
Heard of UNICEF.
Remember Hands Across America in that movie?
Oh, yeah. Us.
UNICEF is like another way that you can contribute
It's
to
just
less fortunate.
It's a little sketchy, though, when you got to donate to third
I know,
parties.
I know.
It's like,
And
I
then
don't
another
know.
suggestion, which I'm like over this, and I'm not sure how effective these are, but it
Mm.
says sign the change.org petition. Okay. Or donate to save the children.
See, and it's
They
all
ain't
these
donate
other
to- They
organizations.
ain't donate to Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, we've been donating for years, bro. Yeah, like we seen those In the Arms of the Angel songs with the kids in Africa, and they're still in that situation. See, yeah, and then where the white people post the pictures with the kids and
Oh, I
get the
hate
likes
that.
up.
hate that. And
I
a lot of
hate
us are,
that.
Like, ignorant to it, like they don't even realize like how bad it looks. Like
It's a bad look.
it's the whole white Jesus, white savior type.
Complex.
Yeah.
So I think what's making this situation so difficult as well is we don't really have any tangible solutions. Like, how do we actually fix this problem in Sudan? And just
It's
being
gonna
completely
fix
honest, we
itself.
can't. Right.
It's just gonna have to fix itself.
We
the
can't.
military.
I think we did. We raised
Broad awareness.
We
That's the
brought
only thing
awareness.
that you can do.
We put it in the, if somebody want to take the lead from there. But I don't think we should be working hard to try to fix another country. Like,
Yeah.
that's not our job.
Because nobody comes
That's
and
not our
tries
job,
to fix
like,
us. And then,
exactly.
two, being real as well, in the black community, this is a lot of resentment sometimes that we have other African nations come in our communities and look down on us. They don't tell, some of their kids to mess around with us or don't be like us. So we can't really, I think what makes it hard is we're always helping other people, and those same people don't help us sometimes.
Right.
So
I agree with that.
It's
I
like,
always
it's
hear
tough.
about
It's
that,
tough.
That African thing that they don't like. I never experienced that.
Oh, for real?
Like, all the I got African friends.
Yeah, hey, it's a
and
lot
they
of cool
love,
Nigerians.
like,
Yeah.
They like
Yeah.
my one guy when I was living in Florida.
Yeah.
My dude Billy, he from Kenya, and me and him connected off,
Dope.
just off rip. And
Yeah.
I ended up going. He had graduated before me, so I ended up going to his graduation party.
Nice.
I'm basically the only black person there.
Wow.
All Africans.
See, I love
the dudes
that.
was talking shit because the females was, I took their females. Shit, though.
I said that was
But
slight.
it wasn't nothing, like, you feel me?
Yeah.
We had a good time. Like,
Wow.
I'm the only, black person there in the sense.
I like that.
The only African American there.
Yeah.
The rest was, they was from Nigeria, Kenya, all of,
And that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Like, we have to think globally. When we see somebody that's from Africa, we got to think all of us are one. We can't be having this mindset on both sides. Like, Africans can't have that mindset of black Americans are lazy, and us, we can't be talking about African booty scratcher or this, that, and the third. Like, we all got to be on the same page. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we all have to work on. Like, we all got to move as one.
I think
have
that
to.
everybody needs to do a ancestry research on themselves and their families.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest with you, when my dad did one, we had the country that we came from was Sudan.
He did the
Wow.
swab.
Yeah.
Sudan.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
See?
So,
East Africa, too.
yeah.
And,
East
and that's what we got to
Africa,
start
most of us,
realizing.
yeah.
Like, there's some of us came from East Africa, from West, South, North. Like, we
Africa
got to
is
stop
huge.
thinking.
Like,
Yeah, we got to stop
Africa
thinking
is
that all of us
huge.
came from the
Like,
same
Africa
three
is not the
countries.
United States, like, you feel
Thank
me?
you. Yeah, so we got to, again, Kim, like you said, think globally. Like, we got to throw away that mindset that
We
some of
have
us
to think
came,
globally.
that some of us came from Ghana or just Cameroon or this or the Congo. Like, we got to think about East Africa, like you just said, Sudan and all that.
Congo, Sudan. I forgot what other country there
See,
was.
that's amazing.
14% was European.
Which is a very small percentage.
I think it was I forgot whatever my last name is. That last name is the country that last name is from.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What was that movie? And the guy William Wallace. What was the name of that movie?
That name sounds familiar, William Wallace.
But I think is it Swiss? No, it's not Swedish. I forgot. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. There are another group of people, because if you think about it, it's not always racism. There's another issue that we face in this country that we have to always keep in mind when you erase color is classism. Trump wants to limit aid for low-income Americans, but we've talked about this several times on the show, so we kind of want to bring you up to speed on where it's at now. There are anti-poverty groups that don't agree with this solution. A lot of Republican administrations are of the thought that pull yourself up by the bootstraps and just keep it going. Everyone has the same opportunities. Everyone's, is afforded the same opportunities.
Equal playing field.
Yeah, forget about trickle-down economics. Forget about Reaganomics. Forget about the war on
they be
drugs.
killing
Forget
me.
about Jim Crow. Forget about all that. Everybody's got a level playing field.
And when they're trying to say, well, my parents, they were immigrants and they came here with nothing. It's like, so Kim, when you hear people say that, because some people, I think now everybody's becoming woke, but sometimes people don't know how to counter certain arguments. And I see certain people get stuck when other people from other races bring that up. So you as a black woman, especially as a black woman, if somebody said, well, my parents came from Italy or from France or from wherever in Europe and they came here with nothing and we were able to become millionaires, So how come black people can't do it? What would you have to say towards that?
A lot of Europeans come here and they are easily assimilated to the American culture and they just blend right on in. Not to mention the fact that a lot of people came here and as immigrants, they were afforded the ability to get a lot of different loans. Also, you mentioned Italy, great example. I'm from New Jersey. A lot of the Italians had the construction market on lock.
For real?
Absolutely.
Wow.
And that's how did they keep it on lock? The mob, the mafia. They were all the the strong arms to make sure that they got these contracts to build these buildings and keep the money to themselves.
Wow.
On the other hand, a lot of immigrants look out for each other. Your cousin is coming here, stay with me for a couple years until you get on your feet. Come work at my company. I'll pay you in rent. People are able to work things out because they want to see their family succeed, which sometimes, because it's been so hard for every family to struggle from Jim Crow to slavery to just systematic racism overall, the systems have been put in place to stop an African American family from succeeding. So, I mean, I tell people that all the time. I mean, just depend. Tell me where your family's from. Tell me what your family story is. Each family story is individual, but you can say, okay, well, that's why y'all were able to be this successful.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, okay, yeah, well, your uncle hooked up your, whatever with whoever. It's always.
Yeah, that's real. And if you haven't seen it, Clarence Avant, his documentary on Netflix, I think it's called The Black Godfather. If you guys haven't seen it, check that out. But he pretty much got put on because he worked for a guy who worked in the mob. Exactly. And he was able to put him on to all the black artists because he said that the mob owned all the talent agencies, booking agencies. They owned every form of entertainment when it came to black artists. And that's how he became so powerful. So just like what you said, they even were controlling entertainment. So that's a fact. Yeah. And they were making more money off of the act than the act was making. So, yeah, that's a fact. So seeing this right now, it's the same thing happening, huh?
Yeah, there are a few proposals that are pending, proposed, in place, or they're being challenged. So I'll just run a couple of them. Stricter enforcement on the SNAP work requirement, which means you got to work to get food stamps. The decision on that is pending. Restrict waiving of SNAP for income limits. That's proposed. So that hasn't even been put in place yet. Rescind regulation on payday loan lenders. We talked about that last week. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders are putting together a bill that it's the Loan Shark Prevention Act, which would stop like payday lenders and all that stuff from charging those high ass interest rates. So one of the proposals of Donald Trump is to rescind regulation on payday lenders, and that's pending. Recalculate the poverty line. That's being proposed too. So what they could do is, instead of saying, okay, if you make, I'm just going to throw out a number. If you make $20,000 a year, you can get food stamps. Well, they might lower it. They may say, if you make 20, you're good. I'll say if you make 10, you can get food stamps.
Ooh.
So that's recalculate the poverty line. That is proposed. It's not pending. So they're just talking about doing that. Make it harder for benefit recipients to get green cards. Pending.
So they're trying to make it harder for them to get green cards? Dang.
Require sponsors of green card holders to reimburse benefits. That is in place. So that is being done.
Wow.
Deny housing aid to families of undocumented oh my God.
No, they ain't playing.
Deny housing aid to families of undocumented immigrants. Proposed. That hasn't been put in place yet. Deny rural housing aid to families of undocumented immigrants. So if you are an undocumented immigrant, somehow you're out in the rural area because you're probably a farmer and you help farm, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to bring your wife and the kids to this country, they're proposing denying housing for you.
Wow.
Housing aid. Allow homeless shelters to deny service to transgenders.
Whoa. Hold on. For real?
This is surprising to you?
It's just, and this is my thing. We got to start understanding, even if you don't agree with the lifestyle, even if you don't agree with the concept, if you don't agree with
Leave
the
them
agenda,
alone.
we got to start realizing that it is our duty to start looking out for everybody. And I'm not saying put the black agenda to the side. I'm not saying that. But that's inhumane. That we're talking about somebody who's homeless, and just because they're transgender, they can't have shelter. And I don't care, even if you're a diehard Christian, a diehard Muslim, who's like, that's wrong.
You
I
can't
don't
be a
agree
diehard
with
Christian
it.
or a diehard Muslim and
Right.
want to deny housing to anyone. Let's
Yes,
just start there.
right.
Add citizenship question to the 2020 census, which is scaring the hell out of people because they feel like if they're honest, ICE is going to come knock their door down and take them out. That's being challenged. So people care enough to stop that. Impose work requirements on Medicaid recipients. That is being challenged as well.
Wow.
That is fucked up.
Wow.
Amend Obama era overtime pay rule. And that's being proposed.
What they want to, what they trying to do?
So the Department of Labor has proposed increasing the wage level below which workers would automatically be eligible for overtime pay on time worked, anytime worked over 40 hours a week. The Trump administration would raise the current $23,660 a year threshold to $35,308, which would make it an estimated 1 million more workers eligible for overtime.
That's good.
However,
So he gonna be doing more than time and a half. time and a half.
However, the Trump proposal would replace an Obama era rule that would have increased the level to 47,476 and covered 4 times as many workers. That plan has been blocked in court, in part because of strong oppositions from small businesses, which say it would impose big financial burden on them.
Hell yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, so it's really not that great if you think about it from an owner perspective.
Yeah, not from an owner, but majority of the people are workers. And I mean, me being an owner, I wouldn't really like it, but
you gonna pay us, Jay Black.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mind paying, but it's just like when it overtime hit, of course you want to just pay as less as you can.
Yeah. Hey, that's part of business.
Yeah, that's just a business. But
Yeah.
majority of people are workers.
Yep.
I used to be a worker.
Yeah.
And it's just like, shoot, when I did overtime, I like overtime pay.
The Medicaid work requirement has approved waivers along 8 states to impose work requirements on Medicaid recipients, although legal challenges have blocked such efforts in Kentucky and Arkansas. The administration argues that the requirement will encourage people to join the workforce, but opponents say that instead it will deny low-income families much-needed medical aid. About 18,000 Arkansas residents lost their Medicaid coverage when the work requirement went into effect.
Wow.
So, I mean, we see that in other countries, people are fighting for their freedoms and their liberty. And, the more poor people you create, the more angry, the more people you deny food and shelter to, the more angry of an environment you create in this country. And it's like, when you don't have anything to lose, what won't you do?
Yeah.
I remember Tupac said one time, you're going to keep denying people food until whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know that video.
I don't know the exact quote,
Yeah.
but he was like, what do you think I'm going to do?
Yeah, because Kim.
He was like, you're going to knock on the door
Yeah, there
and say,
you go.
can
I
we
was
have
about to
some
say that.
food? Can we have some food? Hey, we hungry? Can we have some food? And the next time I come back, I'm going to be like, give me some food. Give me some food. And then the next time I got to come and you're not giving me some food, it's not going to sound like that anymore. It's going to be like, give me my motherfucker. He was like, yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
you got to get a balance here.
Yeah.
What is the Trump administration creating?
That's facts. And Kim, I think too, here in America, we got to throw away this whole misconception that when we see other countries like Sudan or in Africa, wherever, that, it's so barbaric and it's not civilized.
You don't
and
know
these
the
people,
story of
but
those people.
America, it looks more sophisticated, but we have the same stuff going on. It's just we're being lured all the time that it's the greatest country in the world and that you have all these rights. That's what they tell you. But is America number one in education? Is it number one in finances? None of this stuff. The
We're
only
not
thing
number one in
is
anything.
prison.
Military.
Yeah,
Prison.
and then military. And that's it. So how is it truly the greatest country in the world? So even if Sudan has people that's dying in the streets, we got people dying in the streets. Just in Memphis, you remember, Kim? I sent you that clip. the guy was handcuffed and he was shot 21 times. So it's like
It's just ridiculous.
yeah, all of us still got the same stuff
My
going
thing,
on.
no other country is running to our aid in that sense.
Yeah, talking about hashtag Black Lives Matter and
Even
things
from
like
Africa,
that.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect none of these other countries because they're not.
But
black.
do you think that?
Yeah.
Do you think that they take us seriously? Do you see a mass exodus from this country? Like, I think other countries say to themselves, "Well, if they really didn't like it, they would leave."
Or
Because
two,
that's what they
but where we go though, and that's what people got to understand.
I understand, but
Canada, Mexico.
But you
Ireland.
still in European dominated societies.
I mean,
Well, I'm just more concerned of why aren't they jumping to our defense?
I see what you're
You
saying.
feel me? Like, we're
why
going
would
to,
they sent us?
Because we're
they
going
sold
over
us.
there. Because
They
we're,
sold us.
Eddie Griffin
They
said
got
that.
their money. They good.
so that's what I'm saying.
They
But
got
we
their
The transaction was completed.
But we supposed
Yeah.
to go over there and help them. Like, why?
Because
Hey, that's a great argument, Jay Black.
Like, why
and
we
then Kim,
going
like
over
you
to
just
put
said,
out- we going to put
you
out
just-
fires everywhere else
y'all
except
said-
home.
hey, this is a deep conversation. And Kim, you just said something as well. Y'all sold us. So it's like, should we even care about y'all?
I mean, you think about it.
Yeah.
During colonization, when the slaves were being traded, it's like they were traded. You know what I'm saying? They were traded.
Keyword is trade.
It was black
Rated.
slave owners. It wasn't just
Yeah.
white slave owners in Africa.
Right.
It was black slave owners.
Yeah.
It was black people that had black slaves. Like,
Yeah,
They didn't
yeah.
like,
certain
it
groups.
was a business. Like, I don't even. They just looked at it as a business. That was just the way of the world.
That
and
was
a
the
business.
way of the world.
Yeah.
That was the way of the world. So why would they come get us? Like,
So, Jay Black, what do you think we should do? Because I had those same battles in my head. So, if you were in charge, or if you had to propose some type of suggestion, what would you possibly
be
propose?
out, just like
I'm
the rest
always-
of the civil
I'm
rights
always
leaders did in the
about-
60s and 70s.
Yeah.
The Pan-African movement was built on the idea that we could go.
We gonna dip.
And we gonna dip.
I always like to start at home in a sense, or if I'm trying, I can't fix nothing else until I fix myself. I can't go out and try to save the world if I'm fucked up.
Malcolm
You feel
X
me?
even said that.
It's just like I feel like we gotta really figure out what the fuck going on over here.
We
Like,
blame society
'Cause we
over
got too
our
many
society.
issues.
we got our own issues.
Yeah,
Like, we
yeah.
fighting police brutality.
Ourselves.
One day we fighting police brutality. The next day we trying to fight some shit in a whole other country that we
Yeah.
never even stepped on. Like, we never stepped foot on that country. Like, why are we protecting that?
And if that's
Feel
the
me?
case, I have another question. Why do young African American men even join the military at all?
Because it's, I know people. My boy Nate.
Oh
He
yeah,
went to the
Nate was in the military, right?
He went because it was basically his last option. He
Yeah.
was supposed to go to college. He was supposed to go to Duke or some shit. His,
Are you serious?
Dude.
his
He was
financial-
hooping, bro.
His financial
Wow.
counselor messed up his paperwork.
Wow.
He pissed off. He's sitting on the
Wow.
couch, 17-year-old. Your
17.
He say shit. A recruiter came to his door, knocked on the door, and before the recruiter said anything, he was like, "Sign me up." You feel me? And it's just like,
And they know where to go. He's from
And-
New
Yeah,
Orleans,
I'm gonna go
right?
to the hood.
but no, even they could, they come to the schools too.
True.
And it's just like,
set
man,
up
they
tables.
offering you 17. Oh, we'll give you a 20,000 upfront bonus. You looking at that
20,000 to a 17-year-old.
And your mama's like, yes, baby,
When- yeah,
take
when you
that
ain't got it,
20,000. We getting
man.
ready to buy a
Benefits.
house.
That's how
Yes.
my family. That's how my family is. They be like, man, if you don't go to college, you gotta go to the military. Like, it's
That's
one
how
of
my
the two,
family
you
is,
feel me?
too.
A lot
That's
of
how
my
my
people didn't go
family
to
is,
college,
too.
so they went to the military.
Yeah,
That's
and
so sad.
Same with mine as well. But and what's crazy, and Sid's uncle or grandpa Calvin is funny because she used to tell me with him, although he served in the military, Vietnam. It's funny, but he lost his memory somewhat. So as like little kids, they'll just walk around. What would y'all say to him?
My uncle stepped into a booby trap.
Tell them because
Yeah,
they
you
can't
gotta
hear
say
you. You can when you
You gotta
when
tell
you
them,
watch
like-
the show, you can hear her, but it's not good.
Sid be lazy. She just want to sit down. She don't want to get her. All right.
Okay, so my uncle stepped into a booby trap.
Oh
like, blew his leg off.
man,
It's really
oh
bad.
man.
Or his calf because
Yeah,
he still has a
his
Your
leg.
dad's
So-
brother.
No, this is my grandmother's brother. So it's my
Okay.
great uncle. And so now, like, from all, like, so when he came back, he was, like, really strung out on drugs and really, like, he was an alcoholic. So from there, he, like, suffered from memory loss. And now, like, it's not funny, but it is. So, like, at family events, when we see him, like, everybody has to say hey to him, like, 3 or 4 times because he forgets that he said hey to you. So, like, he'll go around the family and he'll be like, hey, Uncle Calvin. Like, the kids, like, joke around with him because they're like, hey, Uncle Calvin. And he'll be like, oh, hey, like, I didn't see you. And then, like, 5 minutes later, they'll go back and be like, hey, Uncle Calvin. Like, I didn't see you. And be like, oh, I haven't seen you in so long. And it's like, I just saw you 5 minutes ago. It was really sad. But, yeah, I mean, he went to the military because his brother robbed a liquor store trying to, like, feed their family.
Wow.
He
Poverty.
went to jail for 40 years. So, like, that was his big brother. So he was like, you know, I'm not going to go to jail. So he just went to the military. Yeah, they grew up in
That's
Memphis.
sad because
They give you all these benefits like, oh, we'll pay for your college.
But you might not even experience the benefits.
you got to stay for 4 years.
Right,
You gotta
right.
live for 4 years.
And you know, one of my friends as well, at State, she joined the Air Force, super smart girl, but she was from Brooklyn. And she told me that her family had nothing and that she had to join the military so she could even go to college. So I think with us, we don't join it, for America like how most people do. I think we just do it
Join it for the financial gain.
out of pure necessity. Like, even if you even want to go to college, I got to join the military so I can get these benefits. I can get school paid for. And she still works. She still works. Because sometimes you can sign like a bad contract where, yeah, you can get this covered, but now you don't have any type of pocket money. So she works at Hooters
So you get
like
a
every
contract
night.
when you go to the military?
Some people,
It's
yeah.
different? Like,
Yeah.
Different. I know one girl,
Deja,
she
yeah.
signed a bad contract. She don't get no money from that.
See?
Like, she gets, like, stipends.
Wow.
And it's only a couple of grand, and it doesn't come to, like, a couple of times a year. So she can't live off of that. So she works, like, 2 jobs.
Put in
What
your
I
life on the
mean?
line,
See
too.
what I'm
And
saying?
then
Yeah.
whenever they call her, they're like, oh, you gotta go to this training.
She gotta leave.
3 weeks, she gotta go.
See, and then another lesson, another takeaway from this is that, this is a country in Africa that has a black leader. And he's doing this.
But I'll tell you this, though, Cam, speaking on that point. White people try to use, not like you were saying it, because we're just having a real conversation, but white people try to say that of, well, Africa is ruled by black people, so why are y'all, so corrupt and things like that? But people have to understand what you said earlier about America going in and bullying certain of these countries, that they're putting in place these people in power. And a lot of times it's being proven because the people don't approve of the person that's in power. So it's not like a real
And
democracy.
this is a
And
guy
you
that's
gotta
been in
think-
power for 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Think about Iraq. They went to Iraq
Oh,
and changed
Sudan.
that shit to a democracy. Like,
Yeah.
America went in there and changed their whole government or tried to.
Yeah.
anyway.
Well,
Saddam
look how many
Hussein,
lives.
yeah.
My brother was there. My brother was in Operation Desert Storm.
That was in the late 80s, early 90s,
That was
right?
in 90s.
90s.
So my brother was a part of that. It's like, at what cost, though?
For some oil, too. And you
I
trying to
mean,
change.
are you personally, is your family going to benefit from any of that? My brother,
Dang, that's deep.
My brother died last year. He had PTSD really bad when he came back from Iraq. He was a medic. He worked for the Marines and for the Navy, but the things that he saw, like,
Especially
it
as
changed
a
him.
Marine. Yeah.
It scarred him. He was there. He retired from there, so he did 20 years in the military.
20.
And
Wow.
so he was. The good thing is that he was able to retire in his 40s, and his children got to go to college, and
He probably-
get.
his body was probably all beat up.
My brother
Couldn't sleep,
had no his left leg, he couldn't really move it, so he was on medication for that, which also the medication from that had side effects. He was mentally just not right anymore when he came back from the military. I know because when he left, I was little, but when he came back, I was grown. But he just never, all the medicine after all the years, the PTSD, the going back and forth to the doctor, to me, none of it is worth it. I know that when he graduated from high school, he really didn't have a job. So my mom he was like, she
gotta
was
do
like, what
something.
you about to do, bruh? You know what I mean? And he just was like, fuck it, I'm out.
And that's you know what I really don't. I never kind of understood this. These people go fight for this country,
And they come back.
and a lot of people I see that's homeless, retired veteran, or I'm a vet. Like, well, how
Well,
are you a vet?
because the hospital, and that's another thing that I have a problem with. And I had to, when my brother died, I had to make so many phone calls, and I had to go through so much of a rigmarole because the VA doesn't really do shit for the veterans. They treat them like it's like the county hospital, the
Wow.
VA. I mean, we always say, "Oh, thank you for your service. Go out there and put
that's
your life
it.
on the line." And when you come back, it's fucked up. My
Yeah,
father.
I feel like you should be taken care of. If you
You
fall for
should.
Forever,
something,
bro.
You should be taken care of forever.
You
Like,
and
you
your
shouldn't
kids.
be homeless at
you
all.
and
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, you and your kids, because the family had to go through a lot as well.
Yeah.
The kids had to move
When
a lot.
I was,
the mom.
when my father was drafted when he was 18.
See, he was a boy.
He grew up in
He's
the
a
Jim
boy.
Crow South.
What was that,
My
World
father
War
was
II?
a sharecropper, World
World
War II.
So who are you fighting for?
No,
like you feel what I'm
no,
saying?
what was it?
Vietnam.
Oh, Vietnam.
So who are you fighting for then?
you
like, you
are
feel what I'm saying?
my father came back from
Muhammad
from
Ali even said
Vietnam,
that.
and he couldn't even go to the restaurant and sit where he wanted
See?
to sit.
And Kim,
Like
Ali,
that's the shit that pisses me off.
and that's what makes me
but
mad.
that's those were those days. Like
See,
And that's why whenever I see movies and stuff about Vietnam, like, I don't know for a fact that my dad has PTSD, but he be off sometimes. He's a little, he's friendly. He's a nice guy. But when he gets mad, he has that much patience.
It'll make you paranoid.
He has this much patience. And when he came back, like I said, like.
But Kim, I'll say his patience.
4 years and came back.
His patience is probably low because if you made a mistake, you could die. So when people be messing up around him, it probably makes him think about being like, do you really have my back? Yeah, like, do you really have my back? Because if you're not paying attention for 1 split second, I can get shot.
My father will snap and spaz out. And right. Like, he was a police, like the court police in Newark, New Jersey. Mm-hmm.
And he probably didn't play, did he?
I remember my dad like beating people up, like coming home with like.
He probably just blacked out.
No, he does black out. He does black out. He definitely blacks out.
See?
My grandfather too. He was in Korea. He was in the military, and I was thinking about going out there this weekend. God rest my granddaddy's soul. But he saved everything. My grandfather was a hoarder. Let's just be honest. The letters he used to write to back home from Korea. How is the crop this year? Are the cotton
still
good?
Still checking in,
still sending money to his mom, still paying for her house, still buying property. Just it's just I don't like it. Even though, you know, the main pillars, my dad, my granddad, and my brother were all in the military. If I was to have a son and he asked me if he should go, I would not let him go. I would not let him go.
It's not worth the risk, and two, it's like I hate when, you know, people try to use that line like we're fighting for freedom or our freedom. No, we're not. We're interfering with somebody else's.
You're fighting for their freedom.
Right. And it has nothing to do with us. And Muhammad Ali, even when he decided not to fight, and he said, I don't know anything about Viet Cong, but I do know about I can't go and eat where I want to eat.
The Vietnamese are not the ones that are fucking with me. Y'all are. I feel that.
So that's a fact. And I think, Boys in the Hood, Lawrence Fishburne, somebody said a black man has no place in the army. And that's so true. And he said that back in the 80s. And it's still true. So
yeah. Speaking of this country and some of the the Flint water crisis. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why you need to remember it. It's still going on.
Right.
What, man, 4 years now?
5.
2014.
It's 5. That's half a decade.
Is people still living there?
Yeah.
And they got nowhere else to go, huh?
I think they got a whole bunch of places to go. One of the first things I say is, why do they still live there?
But I remember somebody said small things like, if you're staying inside of a home and if you're trying to sell your home, nobody's going to buy it. So you're pretty much stuck there. Or you won't get any value out of a home that you've been paying a mortgage for, with apartments, all that stuff as well. So it's like they're virtually stuck and they have nowhere else to go. But I feel you, Kim. I'll be the type, bro, it's not worth it. Like, I just got to take my loss and keep it pushing. But
so for those who don't know or don't remember, I don't think there's anybody out there, because anytime anything goes viral, they'll say, yeah, but Flint still doesn't have water, which is very true. But Flint's drinking water became contaminated after the city switched to using the Flint River as its water source in April of 2014 to October 2015. During that time, state regulators failed to require the use of chemical to prevent pipe corrosion, which led to the lead from the pipes that corroded because they were getting river water to drink. It led to lead poisoning because the lead got into the drinking water from the aged lead. So criminal charges were announced, and the Michigan prosecutors recently upended a years-long investigation into the Flint water crisis, dropping criminal charges against 8 people and announcing a new investigation into the scandal that has embroiled the city since 2014. So they dropped the charges, criminal charges, but they're going to relaunch the investigation. And what else they can do besides file criminal charges, I don't know. They blame it on weak oversight at the local, state, and federal level. Obviously. The Environmental Protection Agency said that, it's just weak oversight. Remember, that's another thing that Trump is like telling them to keep their mouth shut, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. Trump doesn't want them to give accurate information because, I don't know. this is not a good thing. So, the 8 defendants were elated that they got their charges dismissed, and the residents in Flint were angry, which is understandable.
Yes.
So, hopefully, when they relaunch the investigation, I mean, if they're not going to file criminal charges, what are they going to make them pay a fine? Like,
Right.
people died, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Urine coming out of a faucet. Urine, feces, all that stuff.
that's like, Cobb County, which a couple days ago we had a boil water advisory in Cobb. And y'all remember that? Did y'all know that?
Wow.
You didn't know? Oh, okay, that's great.
Right.
Yeah, Tuesday, Cobb County had a boil water advisory for the entire day. You could not drink the water in Cobb County. You should
I got a
not bathe
question.
in it. Yes.
This is an interesting hits and blunts take. that I have. So do you drink faucet water?
I saw it. I'm on a No Buffer podcast. I was listening. I know what Jay Black
Yes.
about to do.
I saw that too.
Yeah, you saw the
On
episode.
The No Buffer podcast. They were talking about, y'all always talking about y'all don't drink tap water, but you put ice in your water, and where you think they get the ice from?
Facts.
That's
You
true.
brush your teeth.
Right. Oh, yeah, Cheyenne. She
you
was trying to
do you
finesse
take
that
a
answer. I
bath?
saw that.
Do you
You take a
shower?
bath. That's what I'm saying.
I drink
Like,
tap water. I like tap water.
It tastes different though. I ain't gonna lie. Ohio tap water
Because it
tastes
has
different than
chemicals.
Georgia.
No, and bro, I'm gonna tell you this.
When you go to different spots, it tastes
Bro, it
different.
depends on which part of Georgia you're in. My grandparents, their county, Jackson County, I think this was back in 2015. They was rated as the #1 cleanest county when it came for tap water, and theirs tasted like Fiji tap water,
Yeah, the water back home is nice.
like
So-
out in the country.
so what
But here,
happens
it tastes
is-
terrible.
So what
downtown.
happens is when your city has good water,
See,
what your local government might do sometime, like this happened in Newark,
mm-hmm.
and what the local government did was they sold their city water to other cities,
Oh,
and that's the
okay.
way a lot of cities make money.
Okay. So why is Atlanta's water so bad, and it tastes like lead,
And it smells like
and it smells bad?
Florida, when I lived in Orlando, that shit was it had
So,
a taste to it.
They actually, the Huffington Post actually took a poll and they have rated the top 10 water cities.
Oh wow, okay.
And what makes them top is the fact that they're clean and they're minerals enriched. I drink tap water in extreme emergencies. Like I didn't go to the store. I don't have any water.
I gotta
Like
get some.
but, at a restaurant, they're not giving you spring water.
Yeah,
You know
that's
that,
tap
right?
water.
Right. So
And it just
I drink tap water.
put some ice in it.
I just try not to drink it as much, but it's inevitable. You're gonna drink tap water.
Mm-hmm.
people drink it out of the bathroom faucet.
Ew,
Do that,
Caleb.
I put my head under the seat.
Yeah.
Y'all
Put your head on the
nasty.
seat. When you brushing your teeth, you just put some water on your face.
No, tell what you do.
Oh, you get a cup? Nah, no. I take it to the bathroom. No, not to the bathroom sink. To the kitchen. To the kitchen sink. Get some ice. Put some ice in the cup.
Why do you
Pour
go
some
to the
water.
bathroom to get the water?
Nah, I didn't mean to say the
He
bathroom.
didn't have a kitchen.
Yeah.
He would go into the
Oh.
bathroom and see.
Well, he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, and then you get some ice, and then you put the water in there.
Thirsty shit.
Yeah, that's what I tell her, man. Hey, you can't be bougie when you're thirsty.
Where
bro.
the water
top-
fountain water come from?
Who?
The water fountain.
Oh, that's what people don't think about either. It
That's
come from the
tap
sewers.
water.
That's my point.
Yeah.
The water fountain. That's a
Oh,
nice
and-
spot.
Some water fountains have filters, no?
But water bottle companies is actually tap water in the water bottle, but they just charge you.
Right. So
It's
what,
tap
what
water.
a lot of what a lot of bottled water companies do
And
is
they just freeze
get
it.
the water, the tap water from a good place,
Yep.
and they bottle it up
Make it cold.
and they sell it to you. So not only
For
are
about
the government-
$4.
So here, if you live in
Get
in
finesse.
these 10 cities, you have good water. You ready? New York City,
I didn't know that they were #1.
they are #1.
Yeah, that's
More
crazy.
than 1 billion daily gallons of sweet mineral
Sound like an advertisement.
mineral-rich water travels over
Yeah.
125 miles from the carefully guarded Catskill Mountain reservoirs. That's just,
That's a whole advertisement right there.
yeah, that sounds good. Stevens Point, Wisconsin, Chicago, Denver. And is it interesting that a lot of these places are at high elevations and are surrounded by mountains?
Yep.
Do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah.
Manchester, New Hampshire, Fort Collins, Colorado, Greenville, South Carolina, and Silverdale, Washington.
Right beside water.
Are they?
Washington State is, and South Carolina is as well.
Wisconsin though, Chicago.
Wisconsin's by the
Denver,
Great Lakes.
and Denver. And Chicago, right?
Yep, Chicago as well.
Denver's not by water.
It's
though.
landlocked, but mountains.
The snow.
Yep, the snow, mountains, all that. Colorado again.
Greenville, is that a coastal city?
South Carolina. Let's see.
Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay. Atlanta nowhere near there, huh? I'm telling you, because I remember there's been multiple times this past year that our apartment in the city or a state, they told us that we couldn't drink the tap water for like 2 or 3 days, that it wasn't clean enough. So Atlanta has a long way to go when it comes to cleaning water. Yeah, Greenville is right beside Athens. Yeah, I've been to Greenville a few times. So it's like 45-minute drive once you're in Athens.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah, Greenville.
Oh, okay.
That's only like an hour drive from here.
Greenville, Spartanburg.
Yeah.
That's, okay, so where my family is from, they have the news from there.
Oh, okay.
Because they're on the border of South Carolina and Georgia.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
So you can keep tabs on your water at your house if you go buy one of those water things. You know, they have the stick.
You can see the lead.
You can see if there's lead. You can see if there's minerals.
Yeah.
You can see if it's alkaline or not.
It's scary, though, because I'm telling you, with Atlanta tap water, you could smell it. Like, you could smell
So,
lead.
according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the city of Atlanta's drinking water is safe. And its water treatment plants are in compliance with standards mandated by the Safe Drinking Water Act, which that ain't saying much. Because, you know, the FDA, the government, period, their standards are really low.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have higher standards for yourself than what the government is telling you should be having. Like, that don't mean nothing to me when you say that. Atlanta Water Department said in a statement, the water that's treated at its city's facilities is monitored through a continuous 24-hour testing. The U.S. has one of the safest supplies of drinking water in the world. Who's writing this?
Right.
According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So the world must be fucked up then.
Yeah.
Oh, the world. Okay, not the country.
Okay.
So the world. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Yeah.
Because, you know, lack of water is what a lot of countries are dealing with.
Yeah, that's
lack
a big
of
thing.
clean
water. Yeah.
Even if it's safe, is it okay for everyone? Not necessarily. All water contains contaminants. Some people can be more vulnerable to the contaminants than others.
See.
Generally, the EPA said it's safe, but if you are elderly or you have a compromised immune system, which, for example, if you have HIV, AIDS, or cancer, tap water might not be good for you. And if you don't know, Atlanta has one of the highest HIV rates.
So it's almost like a third world country, right?
Absolutely.
Was that us? Was I talking to y'all? I was talking to somebody.
Look, y'all can't be confused in the podcast, okay?
I'll just be having so many conversations. I don't even think
Yeah, Jay Black been at it all week.
But somebody was talking about how it's basically a narrative that they pushing that Atlanta is the capital of AIDS.
That was me. I posted it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you talked to me about it, but there's definitely an agenda being pushed because
you sent me that.
Because Atlanta is the black mecca of this country, and there are so many wealthy African American people here. They try to discredit it and discourage people from coming here or giving us the attention or the business.
So it's like, I don't want to go over there because everybody got AIDS.
It was from the real black historian. You had sent me the post.
Yeah.
And then I find it weird because the CDC is right down the street in Atlanta. So how is that possible that we got this high rate, but y'all aren't doing anything?
Well, they have been bringing awareness to it for a long time. Remember that one CDC worker that got missing and they found him in the river?
Yo, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's scary. Got found in the river.
Yeah.
Can't make this up.
So what they're saying is drink bottled water if possible. If you're going to drink tap water, bring the water to a rolling boil for 1 minute if you're using it for cooking, drinking, or making ice. So you can drink tap water and you make ice with it as long as you boil it first. Wash fruits and vegetables in water that's been boiled. Use bottled or boiled water when mixing baby formula. I know that. Toilets can be flushed as usual and laundry can be washed. Dishwasher should only be used on the hot setting. So, That's all I got.
Watch the water. Watch the water.
Watch the water. Keep up with what's going on in Sudan. Because, baby, let me tell you, everybody made jokes about Trump getting elected and us being this and us being that. But if you give that guy 4 more years, ain't no telling what he might do.
Yeah, he just getting started, huh?
I'm serious.
That's wild.
So they also announced the people that are going to be eligible to participate in the debate. And all of my candidates were eligible.
20 of them, I thought, didn't it?
Did they all make it?
I think I seen the list of all 20 of them.
Wow.
But there were more than 20 at some point. There were
I
like
seen
22,
20,
23, 24. Let's see. The Democrats that are... Well, mine are all in... Kamala is there. Cory Booker is there. Marianne Williamson is there. And...
Beto?
No.
Dang.
The
he
other
didn't
one.
make it.
No,
bro.
he made it, but I'm saying...
Andrew Yang.
Andrew Yang. I like Andrew Yang because he wants to give me money.
Right. But I just got a feeling Andrew Yang, he gonna be like how everybody else is. Once they get elected,
He ain't gonna give us our money.
yeah, they gonna go
We
180.
gonna go right to DC and knock on. We gonna get 50 Cent to be the president. And he gonna make Andrew.
50 gonna make sure everybody gonna get paid, man. But him first though.
Yeah, he wants the money.
I saw that picture you posted. You the only person east of the Mississippi that don't owe 50 some money.
50 Cent is after everybody. The New York Times is sick of me because they always shut me down. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I know that my candidates are there. So Joe Biden, of course.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is taking the easy way.
You see, they try to get a picture with him touching a black person, dapping him up. They try to put that at the cover of the article.
So there's because there's so many people.
Yeah.
There's different nights. Okay.
Okay.
The first night is Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, Amy Klobuchar. What's her name? Klobuchar? I don't know who that is.
So.
Never heard of her.
Klobuchar.
John Delaney, Tulsi Gabbard. Who are
Haven't even
these
heard of these
people?
bro.
Julian Castro, Tim Ryan, Bill de Blasio, and Jay
Oh,
Inslee.
de Blasio trying to run for president? I forgot about that.
Yeah, we talked about
De
that.
Blasio tripping, man. You need to...
So the second night is Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders. Oh, night 2 is popping.
It's all the
Pete
all the heavy
Buttigieg,
hitters.
Kirsten Gillibrand, Marianne Williamson, Eric Sewell, Andrew Yang, and John Hickenlooper, whoever that is.
John ain't getting it. It's gonna be interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
Do you feel like Stacey Abrams, she should have tried to run for president?
I'm sick of her.
Oh, of course, but I'm just
love
saying,
her.
you know,
I
since she
love
had all the
her.
clout.
I don't think she should. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think she should run for Senate.
It's easy, it's simple.
I mean, Georgia needs her. We
Yeah.
love her. We need
Yeah.
her. We need that voice.
Yeah.
Because everybody that is there now in the Senate is running for president.
Yeah.
The people that care, the people that I care about.
Right.
The people that are going to make what I believe in matter.
That's fair. It'll be very interesting. And it comes on June 26th.
Yep.
And it comes on what station?
Every station. I
Okay.
mean, probably, let me see, CNN? I don't know. NBC?
NBC?
I don't
Cool.
know.
Yeah.
No, they have one. You know, they
They're trying to
usually
get that
pick
check.
one. June 26th and June 27th are the 2 nights. But June 27th sounds like it's going to be popping.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on MSNBC and Telemundo.
Okay. I'm going to check that out.
It's going to be in Miami. And it starts at 9 p.m.
It's going to be in Miami.
I ain't got the
It's going to be a
time.
scandal. Somebody going to do something before it's time for
It's
the
going to
debate.
be 9
Something gonna
p.m.
happen.
when this starts.
In
Ain't nobody
Miami?
got time for that? Well, look, I
I'm
stayed up
telling
and
you.
watched that game,
They
though.
get like 5 minutes, don't they?
I don't know.
Wow.
I seen something. They either get it for this one or they just did a speaking engagement where they only have 5 minutes.
The
Because there's so
candidates-
many people.
The candidates qualify for the debate by either hitting at least 1% support in the 3 qualifying polls or by pulling in 65,000 unique donors by June 12th.
Unique donors.
3 Democrats running did not meet that threshold. Montana Governor Steve Bullock, Massachusetts Rep. Seth Moulton, and Miramar, Florida Mayor Wayne Messam.
Very interesting.
So only
Let's see.
3 people been knocked out so far.
If I had to choose right now, the 3 people I would probably vote for, not saying that I'm like head over heels for these people, but Kamala probably, Cory Booker, Andrew Yang so far.
If I had to pick 3, it would be Cory Booker, Marianne Williamson, and Kamala.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think y'all should check out Marianne Williamson.
Yeah, she's cool.
No, she's
on the Breakfast Club.
She
I checked her out.
there?
Yeah. She had a great interview. It's just that I don't see her becoming president.
I don't see her becoming president, but she is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love her.
Yeah.
But
Who's
that's
the woman too?
All these candidates, they done Breakfast Club interviews.
Most of them.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm gonna watch the Breakfast Club, but I want to watch them in another setting too. Like I don't want to just.
Charlamagne has been on MSNBC. He's been on CNN. All
but
of
the
them.
Breakfast Club interviews appeal to us, appeal to our demographic. I want to hear them in an interview with Fox.
How you really talking?
Yeah, how you really answering these questions. Like you know when you come on the Breakfast Club, you
gonna talk about black people.
You know what audience you're talking
reparations.
about. You're talking to. So that's what I want to see. All the interviews.
That's a fact.
They interact with all.
Yeah, I like that because
the type of energy they bring. You bringing that same energy,
bruh. Hey, you telling nothing but the truth because it's a woman. If you guys are familiar with her, who's the woman, Kim? I know you're up to date on all these people.
I'm not.
No, trust me. You about to know who I'm talking about. She's running for
I couldn't even remember
as a
Maya
Democrat.
Angelou
She's the one.
ago.
Watch, you about to know. Hey, right when I say this, you about to know.
Maxine Waters?
Not Maxine.
Elizabeth Warren.
No, she's the one. It might be her.
Wait, where's she at?
Who
Did
said
you
that
say
she was Cherokee and then she had to go back?
Elizabeth Warren.
See, I told you.
Where's she at? Did
I
I
don't know. But she was on the Breakfast Club and she got kind of exposed. Like she was trying to talk about reparations.
Because
and Charlamagne was like, "How can I trust you?" And you said you were Cherokee a few years ago. You're not Cherokee Indian.
Where is she?
She might have hopped out.
No.
Because she knew that she was about to get exposed.
No.
Bro, you can't say that you're part of a very specific ethnic group and then go back and double down. Yeah, I think she hopped out, Kim. It was about to get ugly.
No, she didn't.
It was about to get ugly for her.
No. June 26th.
She's going to be there?
She's going to be on that night.
It's just, can we ever have a president that's pro-black? Like, is that ever going to be possible? And when I say pro-black, they don't have to be.
Cory Booker.
I don't even think so, because I'm telling you, the way he answered that reparations question, when he said, "Look, man," and he started laughing, I said, bro, he ain't ready.
He's the one that introduced it to Congress.
Ready. I feel it, but when he said, "Look, man," I read that body language. It's just like, nah, fam.
He is the one that is.
And then when he said the whole tide argument, when one comes up, we all come up, and nah, bro, that's not hitting it, man. Watch that Breakfast Club interview again.
Maybe that was his white side talking.
That's what I'm saying. It's like we can't trust nobody, because with us, we always have to compromise. But when it comes to Republicans, they really don't have to compromise. Like Trump came in, they was like, "That's our boy for real. He's saying everything." And we need, and I'm not saying we need a black Trump, but we need somebody who is still diplomatic.
Raekwon is the black Trump.
Raekwon. Oh, yeah. When you said Raekwon, I already thought about it. I'm like, bro, she's not serious. But yeah, like we don't need someone who's overly black, but somebody who's real and somebody who puts our agenda first for once. Yeah. That's all that I'm asking for. Because with Kamala, when she was asked about it.
You have as pro-black of a president as you can get. The president is not the president of the black people.
Right, but at the same time, we got to think about interest.
The president is the president of the United States. If
Most
you want
definitely.
a leader for black people, become one. Be the leader of your friends and your family.
I feel it.
And then you become the leader of your friends and your family. And then you become the leader, you know.
No, and Kim, like I feel that 110%. I just think that every other group gets their interest put up. And we have to find a way to get our interest, even if it's a white president, to be put on the agenda. And every single time people come to get our votes, especially black candidates, but we don't do anything to make sure that our agenda is fulfilled. That's the only thing. Like, I get it. We can't have a black president. Right. Like, of course, we won't have a black president. Yeah, who's super pro-black, but we still need somebody.
Jay Black, who are your 3 people?
I haven't done my research yet.
I respect him for saying that instead of just saying somebody.
What about you, Sid?
I wasn't listening.
Who are your 3 candidates?
I don't know.
But see, this is the thing. You really don't have to know right now because there's so many.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But just like I said before, you see what you had to do to get your candidate qualified? You had to be a donor. You had to be involved. Like, now somebody's picking the people for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like now, whoever's going to run, you could have helped donate or worked towards somebody. Yeah, you need to be, the footwork needs to be done right now is what I'm saying. Like, You don't want your candidate to be knocked out because not enough people know about their agenda and all the good ideas
And
they
then
have.
too, we can't complain and say, "Oh, this time again, we're choosing the lesser of two evils."
We
Because
can't.
instead of we
I
could
don't
have
want to hear
already
that.
groomed
I don't
that.
want to hear that.
Yeah.
You know what? You know how y'all just sat here and had a whole conversation about the next year football season and basketball season, and basketball just stopped 3 days ago.
And you already thinking about
Thinking about who's gonna go to what team, where they're gonna be, who's gonna do what.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be that not as invested, but at least partially invested in who is saying what about our livelihood.
I agree, but
there's got to be a balance.
It's
is what
easier
I'm saying.
said than done, and it's just like it's not an organic thing. Like,
Oh yeah, I've
you
been
feel me?
saying.
it's something that I'm forcing myself to learn. Like,
Yeah.
So why don't you want that? Like, okay, maybe because you're still young, and I can understand that because you have so much things to do to get your life together. You don't really have time.
That's
for
the
that.
last thing on his mind.
But
Yeah.
I get that. But
Yeah.
at some point, as an adult, and I wish it would happen sooner than later with us, because the younger you are, I remember, I think it was Tupac. Somebody said that they get people between the ages of 18 and 25 because that's your warrior years. Those are the years that you have it in you to fight. You feel me?
Yeah.
Those are the years that the people that's the age group that people are really trying to grab because they're going to make the biggest impact on society.
Yeah.
So imagine if it was made cool to be into politics at that age, like it was when I was young. It was in the music, it was in the TV, it was on a different world, it was on the Cosby Show, it was on the late night television. You know what I mean? The presidential candidates always made an appearance on late night TV.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think that we need a balance. I get the whole thing about being righteous and being ratchet, but we need to turn ratchet down a little bit.
Kept on stage.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not
Righteous
playtime
and
right now.
ratchet.
Like when you see what's
Yeah.
going on with the cops and you see what's going on with the government, and then you like, oh well, that's your president. Like, no, it's not. Like, it's gonna affect everybody. So get involved. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna shame y'all into it. I'm just gonna say make it cool.
Yeah.
Get your balance, get your balance together.
Get involved in politics.
So that's it. I don't have anything else to say this week. But happy Father's Day week.
Yeah.
You guys don't have kids.
Nope.
Well, one day you will.
Long time.
Not long.
Yeah, I'm about
Because
30.
women have a clock.
I got a clock too. Patience.
And as long as black men don't cheat, right?
I saw a picture you posted where the girl said, "Stop saying that before I expose all y'all and show my DMs." Don't do that.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. All right, so y'all, we're gonna wrap it up. I hope everybody enjoys their week.
Yes.
Make sure you follow CTD_ATL on Instagram. I'm gonna make us a Facebook page.
Yeah, we about to get to it.
Are we in agreement with that?
Let's do it.
And make sure you follow Innovative Black Station. Make sure you get yourself a shirt.
Yeah.
We are on all major platforms. We have an app that you need to download on your phone.
Right.
If you have your phone with you, go download CTD_ATL. Now, how do they download the app on Apple and how do they download it on Android? Because each one is different.
Well, it's not connecting the dots. Don't have an app, but if you go to like Apple Podcasts and search connecting the dots podcast.
We don't have an app. I'm sorry. What you do is you go on Apple Podcasts
or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Wherever you listen to podcasts at. So if you listen to it on Android, go there to the podcast and pick Connecting the Dots. Go to Apple Podcasts and pick Connecting the Dots.
Spotify,
go to YouTube. Go to Spotify. We're on there. Follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And like I said, keep us posted. Is there anything you want us to talk about? If there's anything that you want more information on, we will look it up.
Bring your friend to the live audience.
Come check us out if you are in the Atlanta area. Come holler at us. We be drinking sometimes.
Why you gotta whisper?
I said you ain't supposed to know that.
Look,
it's supposed to be a family show. But yeah,
we have
fun.
Have
a good time.
We have fun. So yeah, check us out, y'all.
Yeah.
Did I say follow us on CTD_ATL?
Yep.
And Innovative Black Station? Okay. Peace.